Good morning and welcome to KidNuz, generously sponsored today by the Austrie family of Dallas, Texas. Devin and Brooks, your mom and dad want you to know how proud they are of you and your great grades, and they hope you keep up the hard work and continue to make good choices. Your school, Christ the King Catholic, is lucky to have you as Crusaders. I'm Tori. Today is Wednesday, December 14th, 2022, and we begin with one of the biggest scientific breakthroughs of the 21st century. Researchers at the Lawrence Livermore Lab in California say they've found a way to harness the process that powers the sun and stars to create clean energy here on Earth. Nuclear fusion combines two hydrogen atoms to make helium, and with it, a whole lot of climate-friendly power. And while scientists have been working on the technology for decades, this is the first time they've gotten more energy out of the reaction than went in. One very excited Georgia Tech researcher told CBS News that just a few grams of the material can run an entire home for a lifetime. But will it take a lifetime to bring it online? Realistically, researchers say this holy grail of clean green power won't be readily available to replace climate-changing fossil fuels until the 2040s. He buzzed his pop star locks and reported for service. Jin, the oldest member of K-pop band BTS, left civilian life yesterday to begin his mandatory 18-month stint with South Korea's military. He'll serve at a base not far from his country's northern border. Other men also had to report, but the 30-year-old megastar was the only one arriving in a procession of black vans and security. Scores of sign-waving fans showed up to catch a glimpse, but his car did not stop and they never got the chance. 6 other younger BTS members will also join the military as required in coming years. The band is expected to reunite when all their service is complete in 2025. There's a new report card on the effectiveness of COVID shots. According to Yale University, the vaccines have kept 18 million people in the U.S. out of the hospital and saved at least 3 million lives. Today marks the second anniversary of Sandra Lindsay becoming the first American to get the shot outside of a trial. In other KidNuz notes, civil rights trailblazer and longtime U.S. Congressman John Lewis is getting his own stamp. Before the Georgia Democrat died in 2020, he had been arrested more than 45 times in his fight for equality. His stamp, and another one for the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, will be released next year. Lionel Messi and his Argentinian teammates have made it to the 2022 World Cup final. They beat Croatia 3-0 yesterday, and on Sunday will face today's winner of the France-Morocco matchup. Move over, Lassie. You've got some competition. A dog named El Palomo is getting all sorts of props for leading rescuers to his elderly owner, who'd been missing in a Mexican desert for a week. Police and trained canines spent days searching for Gregorio Romero after he failed to return from a walk, but came up empty until they pulled the 84-year-old's trusty hound into the hunt. In short order, El Palomo found his human a few miles from home, dehydrated and malnourished. A 2-day hospital stay followed, and for all of those 48 hours, El Palomo kept watch and wouldn't budge from right outside the doors of the emergency room. A quick shout out for loyal listener Simone from Silver Spring, Maryland, who always gives 50 cents from her weekly allowance to nonprofits. Simone has sent money to the National Children's Hospital, to Belize for hurricane relief, and for the second year in a row, has also donated to KidNuz. Thank you for your big heart, Simone. Now, today's KidNuz quiz. Nuclear fusion combines what kind of atoms to make helium and a whole lot of clean energy? Hydrogen. How long will BTS member Jin spend in the South Korean military? 18 months. What civil rights icon is getting his own stamp? Former U.S. Congressman John Lewis. A dog in Mexico found his owner who'd been missing for how long? 1 week. In today's KidNuz Kicker, Proof that no matter how far-fetched the question, it pays to ask. A young Los Angeles resident sent a handwritten letter to the county's Department of Animal Care and Control asking for approval to keep a unicorn in her backyard, presuming she could find one. The department responded by complimenting her on her sense of responsible pet ownership and awarded her its first ever unicorn license. But rules are rules, and according to CBS News, officials also told her that the unicorn must be cared for in compliance with County Code Title 10, have regular access to sunlight, moonbeams, and rainbows, and be fed watermelon once a week. Additionally, the unicorn's horn must be polished regularly to maintain good health. And because unicorns and sparkles often travel together, the department said any glitter used must be non-toxic and biodegradable to ensure the unicorn's good health. A big thank you and much appreciation to the Austri family of Dallas, Texas for supporting KidNuz by underwriting today's episode. And a KidNuz shout out to Brooks' teacher, Mrs. Chavez, and Devon's teacher, Ms. McClellan, and all their friends and fellow Crusaders at Christ the King Catholic School. And a big hello to our other classrooms, including Mrs. Cece and her Wildcats at William Walker in Beaverton, Oregon, Mrs. Blaisdell and her Lynx at Webster City Middle School in Webster City, Iowa, Miss Williams and her Rowdy Roadrunners at Forest Road Elementary in LaGrange Park, Illinois, Mrs. Zapp at Goodrich Middle School in Goodrich, Michigan, where it's a great day to show GMS pride, and Ms. Law and her Coyotes at Summit Cove in Dillon, Colorado. Thanks for listening. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.